Since last week, we have known, since the debate really, that Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez would be endorsing Bernie Sanders. This was, I think it's fair to say, one of the most, I guess, anticipated endorsement. Who will she actually go for? She's one of the rising stars in the Democratic Party. Her endorsement is worth a lot. Aside from someone like Obama endorsing someone, and I don't think he's going to do that. Past presidents generally don't. This is about as high profile as it gets. And so she did end up doing that at the Bernie rally this weekend. We've got some quotes from her about how she came to that decision. But first, here is some of her video announcing the endorsement.
This is not just about running for president. This is about creating a mass movement of working class people. The only reason that I thought running for office was even possible for me was because of his example, because he proved that you could run for office and not take big money. And when he talks about a political revolution, and when he talks about not me, us, those aren't slogans. This is not about me. This is not about Senator Sanders. This is about what we have to accomplish together. Our future is not going to get better unless we demand it and unless we work for it. When you talk to Bernie, he doesn't talk about making a movement so that he can get elected. He talks about his campaign as part of a mass movement in America. And that's the kind of leadership that I think we need right now.
There is quite a bit more to that video. You can of course find it at her Twitter account at twitter.com/AOC, and we'll have more. I mean, I guess it's not surprising. We've known it for a week, but it is still big.
It wasn't even surprising. I think I assumed this was going to happen. I think there was a lot of like a talk that she's deciding between Elizabeth Warren or Bernie Sanders, but I feel like AOC
or maybe not endorsing at all.
Been attached to Bernie.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
So I wasn't surprised by this. It's. I'm sure he's really happy about this, like someone that he's been working with and supporting, that's still supporting him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought there were a few different things that could happen. The biggest individual slice of the pie was she endorses him, but it could be she endorses him after New Hampshire, a month from now, 3 months from now, something like that. That's definitely possible. Lots of people haven't done endorsements yet. I thought that she might support him, but not formally endorse him.
You thought that? You really did?
No, I didn't. I thought that was I didn't think that was as likely as endorsing him, but that's certainly a possibility.
Okay.
I mean, she's not just a first-term congresswoman. She's in her first year. She's trying to work with multiple people. She has these huge, high-profile legislative goals that she wants to achieve, and I'm sure, like the Green New Deal, she wants to achieve that regardless of who ends up being president. Obviously, she'd prefer for it to be Bernie Sanders, but if it's not, she wants to have a good relationship with whoever it is. So, if her goal is like get the Green New Deal passed, hypothetically, she might not want to endorse just to not shoot herself in the foot. I don't know. That's the wisdom that's floating around.
I'm glad she did though. I'm glad she did make a decision, just because I think it shows, and kind of bringing in Elizabeth Warren's response to this is like, that's a big endorsement. I'm a supporter of her, and I think after this primary, we'll all be on the same side again. You are allowed to have a favorite presidential nominee candidate in the primary. You're allowed to pick. That's the fun of it. And people are making it not fun, but it's like there's so much more of a choice. Like you're allowed to pick someone and also still support the party, support the larger movement. You are allowed to pick someone. That's.
I agree.
So yeah,
I think that the actual polling places, when we go to vote, should say that's the fun of it. Get people in there for the fun.
I think there are a lot of really good candidates, a lot of really good presidential candidates, and I think we're in this space right now where like a couple of candidate supporters angrily are just really frustrated with acknowledging other good candidates.
You're talking about Klobuchar. I'm kidding.
No, but my point is that, and it's not just one candidate's supporters. I think people are getting to this space where they're like angry when you point out someone else or something good about someone else. And there are a handful at least that have really good messages and are willing to fight for something that I think a lot of us like. And so that is fun to me, to have a few different people that are, I think, all good candidates that someone for different reasons would pick either one of them as their favorite. And so I think I'm glad, that's what I'm saying. I'm glad that she made this decision, because it shows that you can still You can have a favorite and support them, and you should be able to, and that's peaceful, and yeah.
I agree. I think that to some extent it's social media perverting things. There are obviously some fan bases that are really vigorously for their candidate, perhaps to the exclusion of everyone else. And I think that unfortunately there are some people in the media who see that and they want those people to support them and give them money. And so they're feeding that sort of resentment and all of that. But thankfully, AOC is not one of those people. She's very clear. I mean, even in her tweet about this, she says, in the end, we must come together to defeat Donald Trump. We should do so knowing he's a symptom of a larger problem, and our greatest hope is a multiracial working class movement in the United States of America. By the way, I read late last week that when she actually finally decided and when she contacted Bernie to let him know was when he was laying in the hospital recovering from his heart attack, which I already gave AOC credit for doing this endorsement early on. I know some people think that, well, of course she should have, but it's not that clear cut, I don't think. But the fact that she did it when she couldn't even 100% be sure that he was going to continue his candidacy. I mean, they were probably still doing tests and waiting to see, is he going to be able to continue to do this? And she decided, you know what, I'm not gonna wait until it's safe and endorse then. I'm gonna do it now when he could use a little boost to morale, if nothing else, and so she did that.
But they had been clear that as soon as the first day, before they told us that he had a heart attack, the first day when they said it was just stints, they had been clear that he was going to continue his candidacy though.
Yeah,
so
but I
think
knew he was admitted to the hospital. They have to say that even if they're not sure, I'm sure. I mean, like obviously it was not the biggest health problem in the world, but they're not gonna be like, oh yeah, this thing might not be over, we'll get back to you in 12 hours. Like they're definitely not gonna say that.
I think I get it, like it's admirable that she wasn't ageist, is essentially what we're getting at.
Yeah.
I guess
sort of.
That's
not the entirety of my point, but yes, a little bit too. I don't think it's really an ageism thing. It's she's supporting a guy whose candidacy hypothetically might not continue. And also, by the way, he's in third place in the polls right now. And she's still willing to endorse him. That takes some courage, I think. And there's more. She talks about why she supported him over Elizabeth Warren. You can certainly find that. And she talks about how important for her personally Bernie Sanders in his example has been. As she said in that video, she would not be involved in this right now if it had not been for Bernie Sanders. And I like to see her supporting him when he's supported her in the past as well.
Yeah, that's kind of how I started that my whole kind of reaction to that is that I think it's good that of course she's sticking with her team.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we talked about Ilhan Omar's endorsement earlier on. Rashida Tlaib is apparently considering it. And so good
So
boost.
Rashida Tlaib is not.
I don't think she's done it formally yet. I have not seen a formal endorsement.
But the word was that
she was going to, but we'll wait and see if she actually does.